In the merciless environment of the desert that my pride calls home, community is paramount. We hunt together, we gather together, we protect each other, we prosper. Strange stars, arcane runes, superstitions, and blood maledicts. All the reasons why I had to leave, to face these elements alone. Until I met her, a Genasi woman. We said we'd protect each other, or something along those lines. I have a new pride now, and I will do what I can to not let my curse get in the way. Hopefully with their help, I can cure it, or at least learn to live with it.
Oh, hello there. No, don't mind the snake. Gypsum won't hurt you. Unless I ask him to. My name is Sivan. It's hard to say what I'm looking for exactly. All I know for sure is that I haven't found it. I believe that my mother may have the answers I seek, but I can't really confirm that until I actually meet her. However, I feel fairly confident that I'll find her. I've always had a knack for, let's call it, premonition. I remember sometimes as a child having dreams or strange feelings that seemed to guide me, sort of. Gut instincts that hinted at what may come, and they were usually right. But my father was a simple merchant and had no patience for such frivolity, as he would say, so I learned to just ignore it. Years later, after my father died, I wandered around for a bit until I finally landed in Boaz. It was there that my arcane training began. Well, training is a strong word. Let's just say I found an underground study group. There, I made a few friends, honed my skills, and finally started to feel at home in the world. After a few years, though, I realized that I had stopped learning new things. I had stopped growing. As hard as it was to say goodbye to my friends, I realized it was time to go and seek my next challenge. You see, upon my father's passing, I discovered a letter that was hidden from me, for many years apparently, and this is what has set me on my journey. I must prove myself. To what end? I don't know for sure. How do I intend to do it? I don't know that either. I'm not sure if I need to become more clever or more powerful, but I intend to do both.
What are you doing in this jungle? What? You want to know me? I am Conley. I think it means fire bat or something. That's what my friends say to me. My job is to make sure people don't come here, take away all the trees just to make another tavern because the old one started to smell funny, or start another war and have to build more walls just to burn everything in between you and they. I do this because my friends are good to me. They take care of me, raised me up from when I was found in this jungle with no memory and an empty stomach. They teach me to hunt and thank the things I hunt for helping me keep living. Though I like the big monsters of the desert more. They are fun to fight and make very good tools from their body. Big bugs especially. They say it is my job to tend to the balance. I like to think it means that you can keep being people and grow and build and all that, and my friends can keep being the free life that they are, so long as nobody push too hard on the other. My friends say I don't fully get what they mean, but they are happy I protect them, so this is what I do. Your old Sultan respected this balance. Let's hope the new one does the same. Now, if you are a trader or nice person, you can go through. Otherwise, if you bring any harm to this place, I will make new tools from you. So tell me, what are you doing in this jungle?
Evening, good to meet you. Most folks know me as the Jackal of Zaracuda, but my friends they call me Jack, and I hope we can see each other as friends. You may know me as a spy and advisor, or you may have heard of me from that unfortunate assassination business. Well, why don't we put all that aside for now and get down to business? What can I do to help you out today?
I also need to be mirrored.
Here we go. Can you hear me now? Hope that this is actually coming through presently.
We're getting an okay good now.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. It's an O4A stream. Hope you all are having a wonderful evening so far. Not too much to announce before we jump into our game tonight with these wonderful people. However, I do want to mention that as opposed to last session, we now have crits and advantages on screen. So if you wish to donate to give our players some better odds, then you can do so. And we have the introduction of our intervention bar. For those of you familiar with corruption from this channel, it is not so dissimilar. It is still an opportunity for donations to influence certain happenings that might occur within the game. However, this will not be as directly negative and may involve some elemental, spiritual, or even divine intervention that might see play if you so desire. So have fun with that if it comes up. But without further ado, I think we are ready to jump into our game. Anything else I'm forgetting? Are we all good? Cool. All right. Well, let's part the veil of reality as we've done before, friends, and go from our own homes back into the world of the Lazuqu desert. Here, you all have found yourselves going to a prison to retrieve some compatriots and find out what might have happened to them. Who would like to give... I actually just am springing this on them now. Who would like to give a quick recap of what happened last session?
We get anything for doing the recap?
I will give you an advantage if you do the recap.
Don't indulge that.
Just this time, because I sprung it. I sprung it on you.
All right, taking an initiative. Last time on D&D, the party had gathered in a small town nearby the capital in order to discuss their various needs to go to the new sultaning. I don't know. But the Jackal needed some assistance locating a friend who was missing in order to continue on. However, when they headed to the prison, it seemed most of the bodies were horribly destroyed by some unknown type of magical energy. The party investigated, fought some shadows, and found a magical scarf, and successfully escaped the collapsing tunnels of the prison.
Okay, you get a free reroll. Well done. So, we find ourselves back at the opening of this cave where this semicircular canyon opens up into the rest of the open desert. And our companions have all emerged, or started to emerge, from this long 500-foot deep hallway made out of stone. And just moments ago, they were under threat of a cave-in as they encountered some strange creatures from below, and now are in the midst of leaving this strange prison as the rocks fall behind them. They are accompanied by a large, ashen-haired man, Garunda, who is their guide, and also someone who barely made it out alive. We see that Conley has made it out first to check on the animals, but we start our scene as Garunda, out of breath.
Oh, we barely got out there. I didn't know that prisons came equipped with cave-in devices. Is everyone okay?
For the most part.
I thought we were goners down there. I was about to give you a firm handshake for being the last time we see each other. Did we get that weird scarf thing that we had found down there?
Yes, I don't know.
Who has the scarf?
I have it. I don't know
Okay.
why you're being so dramatic. I didn't even get the scratch on me.
And nobody died.
Yes, well, in all my years, it's not exactly a common occurrence to go through that, so, Well, I've saved people from a lot of things, and a collapsing prison isn't one of them.
Yes, but now you can tell the story.
You know what? You're right. If there's anything I like better than danger, it's the stories of danger.
Well, speaking of dangerous stories, we certainly have one to tell, and there are certainly people that need to hear it.
Yes, I suppose so, though I don't think, unless you all want to travel under the cover of darkness through the Lazuqu, that we'll be making much progress in the middle of the dark. You all look out and see that the twilight has now eclipsed into... you just barely see a sliver of the sunset back on the horizon, but it's getting somewhat dark.
You think your cell-rip friend might have survived this prison?
You know, when we were down there, I saw these bodies everywhere that were at least 5 throughout the room, but I wasn't sure. They were unfortunately pretty mutilated, and, well, I think if there was anything living after going down inside that room, those beasts, well, I don't have a ton of hope that there's anything left.
Right. But you cannot count something dead until you can confirm it. Did anybody see someone tall, strong, big black curly hair?
Oh, you're talking about Patria. I didn't see
Yeah.
anything exactly.
Were we supposed to be looking for someone else?
I believe Jackal had someone.
I didn't. I saw many bodies. I did not see theirs in particular. But if they were in there, I can't imagine they could have survived that.
I would admire anyone's gusto if they wish to go back down there, but I don't think that's quite possible. Or safe. But if you wish to do so and find Patria, let me know. Do we want to stay here for the night and use this shelter as something, or do you want to make haste?
Possibly, this is just an opinion, I don't know for sure, but should we, fuck off a little bit, though, in case somebody notices this whole cave-in, and they're like, what are you doing here? And then we have to explain it, and it's a whole fucking thing?
Yes, and probably more people will come. This is a jail, and people get arrested a lot.
Oh, no. This hasn't been used for jails for people in quite some time, you understand. Most people don't even know this exists, and, well, if they're passing by the Canyon of Whales under threat of bandits along the road anyways, then, well, they're quite tough cookies, but long story short, I don't think we're expecting company here.
We could climb up into one of these holes, the higher ones up where the birds are. Is anybody afraid of heights? Is that a good idea? I don't know this place very well.
I've only been here a handful of times, but I can climb.
How big is this, ravine or this area as we exit the jail? How big around? I know the holes are up in the walls, but
Yeah, so the semicircular arc kind of is at least probably 500 to 1,000 feet in width as the opening of the canyon. And there's probably at least 100, 200 caverns or holes.
How big exactly is this jail?
The entire inside? You saw most of the inside, but, well, most of these other canyon caves used to be cells at some point, but their cages have been such removed at this point. So, really, you're standing in it.
What geographical locations nearby did we pass? There was a canyon we went through, correct?
Yeah,
and then
so
it was flat.
Yeah, so originally you were kind of on the flat desert towards this more mountainous region, and once you got there, you found that it kind of you followed along the initial cliffs of the kind of mountain range and led yourself into kind of a series of canyon tunnels and overpasses, or rather underpasses, underneath kind of like branching big where cliffs meet and kind of intertwine and stuff. So it's kind of a very dry canyon tunnel system that led you here.
Oh, well then there will be many places we can choose from. Sivan actually, probably smarter person than you.
Well, let's make a decision. I'm getting tired after... it's something about ultimate peril that really makes you tired after a long day.
Well, how big were the holes in the walls? Could we just stay in one of those holes? Is it big enough for all of us?
Absolutely. I'm sure there are some big enough ones. And he starts to kind of like climb up to one of the upper ledges. Do you all follow? Do you make your own and kind of, and do you kind of make your own shelter, or how's
Just a
everyone?
quick turn to Sivan. Would you like help up?
Oh my god, I would absolutely love help. Thank you so much, friend.
Sucks for you.
As he's starting to climb up, I'm gonna grab the back of his clothing and yank him back down.
You grab him by like the scruff, and he does the cat thing where like freezes and falls back.
Yeah. But yeah, I will follow 13 into whichever hole he goes into.
Okay. Garunda finds a kind of large enough hole that's at least probably 10 feet wide and a kind of semicircular, or like ellipsoid shape of cavern, and goes back at least 20-30 feet. He takes off his pack and he kind of is unfurling a very primitive tent and a bedroll.
Okay, I mean, I know you said nobody comes this way, but should we do watches just in case?
I suppose it can't hurt.
Yeah, I think that would be for the best.
I'll take whatever shift you all don't want to. I can stay up as late as I need.
Aren't you, like, bleeding out right now? Maybe you should just take a nap.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to this sleep, trust me.
And he's kind of like clutching his torso.
Okay, just go to bed. That's not
Conley, do you want first or second?
I will be first.
I'll take second.
I can go last.
If you
All right.
insist, I'll get some good sleep. We've had a full day, but, well, the desert sun awaits tomorrow morning.
And with that, he kind of stumbles over, rolls into his bedroll, and is quiet.
I will take 10 minutes to ritual cast Tiny Hut in our little, whatever it is, our
mini
little
cavern.
enclave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So, what is this? How does the like tiny hut interact with this cavern? What does this look like after Sivan casts this for 10 minutes?
So it's a 10-foot radius dome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I imagine the enclave is probably big enough to encapsulate it, but if it's not, I'll just kind of make sure it fits within the parameters. So 13 probably has to hunch down to get in and out.
Sure.
If it's not tall enough, but I'm gonna try to make it blend in with the rock. So, for no reason really, other than I just feel like it. But it'll take a few minutes for me to kind of conjure that.
Sure. Anyone else want to do anything before they turn in for the night or take watch?
Sivan, would you mind letting me see that scarf? That you
Sure, you can come up to our hole if you want to.
Oh, I'd assumed that I was already there.
Oh, well then never mind. Here you go.
Never assume.
Well, should I ask then, where's Conley sleeping? You are more than welcome to also share this tiny hut hole.
While you're climbing up and setting up your bubble, Conley is going to head out into the center of this big old area and kind of like javelin tap in a little like post to hitch canoe up to. Just kind of leave them right out there in like all sight, and then like I'll probably just pick a hole that is ground level, like 2 to 3 holes off from everyone, like close enough y'all remember where I slept, but prefer privacy.
Sure. So, Jackal Sivan hands you this strange, very beautiful, kind of off-white and very light blue striped scarf.
Do I do I recognize anything about this scarf?
Make me a history or religion check.
I'm gonna go with history.
Okay.
That's a 13.
Yeah, you have never heard of this kind of object. It just seems like a very fancy, ornate scarf. As you touch the material, it seems like it both is very sturdy and tough when you pull it, but it's very soft and flexible as well. As you kind of inspect it, it looks woven in a very unique kind of pattern of diagonal stitches intertwined with long bands through it, and you see that if it's like one long rectangle, about interspersed at the kind of like thirds of like the third points of it, there are 4 inlaid almost shards of this. If you remember from last time, very thin, metallic or almost gem-like kind of feeling, inlaid, hardened into the scarf. They kind of form these like, it's like almost a very long, thin, rectangular, slightly beveled shape, and it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4 in this long, probably at least 5-6 foot scarf.
Am I getting the sense that this is magical in nature?
Do you have knowledge arcana, perchance?
No.
Okay.
I could probably help you.
Yeah, so Savan, you see that Jackal is kind of investigating it. How would you...
I mean, I don't want to disturb Jackal if he's thinking, but when it seems like he's possibly coming to a point where he's not figuring anything new out, I might offer to assist. And if he hands it over, I'll just spend time to ritual cast Identify.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let me pull something up real quick. How does this interaction look between Jackal and Savan while I'm looking this up real quick?
If Jackal notices Sivan like looking, he'll like sort of glance up and be like, yeah, I've never seen anything like this, and I don't believe that I have the magical capabilities to figure out or ascertain anything else from it. Do you mind taking a look at it?
Okay. I'm just gonna sit across from Jackal. And I'm not even gonna take it from his hands necessarily. I'm just going to like have him kind of hold it out between us, and I'll spend time just kind of like running my fingers across the fabric, trying to pay special attention to these gems or shards of glass, whatever is inlaid at the edges. Yeah, it takes 11 minutes, so
Okay, yeah.
it's gonna be an awkward silence for like 11 minutes while I'm muttering to myself.
That's totally fair. So after kind of muttering to yourself for these 10 minutes, you start to really arcanely get to know what this fabric is, and it seems like you're almost kind of feeling who's touched it, whose it's been, what it's come from. And this is unlike any magic that you've encountered before, Savan. You definitely can tell that this is magical. And in fact, as you do start to make your way, kind of like feel the different parts of it, you notice that it seems to almost kind of coil up around your arm as if it was hugging it or like softly clinging to you. As you run your fingers over these little shards, they glow with a faint version of what you saw before, with kind of a luminescent, prismatic, kind of bluish and white color coming off of them. And after 10 minutes, suddenly your head is filled with a strange combination of a vision and an intuition. And what you can tell from it is that it's some sort of... You envision a person wearing it and taking a step into water. You have no clue what it means or what it's used for, but you can see that they step into it and then step out. And it seems as though this never gets wet. This seems very cryptic and like higher level magic than you're used to, and for now it seems like that's the majority of what you're going to get from this spell.
It seems like the scarf doesn't get wet, or the entire person wearing it doesn't get wet.
Looks like both. Neither get wet.
Okay. But I can't tell what school of magic it is.
If you had to, it seems as though it's almost like you're familiar with the different schools of magic. This one seems even more of a primal version of some of them that you've seen. And the closest thing that you recognize to it would be something of the equivalent of abjuration.
Well, I think it maybe keeps you dry if you go swimming, or it's probably more important than that, but I don't know. There's something protective about it, I think.
In Holizon, would I know of anybody who would be able to get a better look at this?
Yes. So you know of there in your day-to-day interactions among where you work, you know that there's all different types of magical advisors and people with different kind of specialties there. You know of one. There's this kind of an older lady known as Alhamara that is a druid of sorts, and this druid order she's part of is called the Reclaimers. And you know that she is an advocate for different parts of the magical elements of the world, and advises the Sultan on things like the climates and spirits and issues that are going around that are not necessarily always physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this might be of some interest to those, to some people in Holizon, if we were able to make it back there.
What do you mean, if?
Try not to take anything for granted. You understand?
I mean, I guess that's fair. So you're trying to sell it to them, or what are you trying to do here?
Guess figure out why I was down there in the first place, and why I was left behind.
And why it makes buildings fall down if you pick it up?
Yeah, that would be good to know as well.
Okay, well, okay, Conley, good luck on your watch. And I'm going to just go and lay
Okay.
down.
Okay. Who is taking first watch?
It was me.
Okay. Conley, roll me a perception check.
Okay. Go. 9.
Okay. You don't seem like you're the most attentive looking out over these dunes and this area. However, this canyon is very beautiful and the sky is pretty, just really capturing as the stars are in full bloom tonight, not a cloud in the sky. But your watch goes by unhindered.
Okay. After my shift is over, I will head over to the hole that 13 Jack and Sivan are in, and I'll just take one of my darts and just throw it as hard as I can to kind of like crash up against the barrier of the dome, kind of like throwing a rock at the window. 13, wake up!
What?
You are supposed to go after me now, right? You are supposed to go after me?
13 gets ready and then clambers out to replace Conley.
Nobody came by in the darkness, nor any animals come by either. I don't think anybody is hunting tonight, so it should be pretty quiet, but don't fall asleep.
13 will nod their head.
Okay. I go to bed. Don't talk to me. I'll go into my the hole that I had picked out, and as I go to bed, I will take the time to, lay out all my equipment. I will also place a little kind of bed made out of a handful of just various herbs like rosemary and some mint leaves, just to create like a small pile of herbs. And then take my my necklace with the glass bottle out of it and pop the cork. Out comes little Peary, the little green flame. It's cool. It's okay. It's time for bed now. You have time. How are you doing, though? You're still getting darker? And this is every time that we get further away from home? Do you think it has anything to do with getting too far away from the jungle? Okay, if you start to feel weak or hurt at any point, you need to make sure I know, okay? Okay. Now, I will let you and your friends all out. You can stretch your legs, don't go out of the hole. And then you have some food here for you to eat and sleep. And then we will go out more into the sun in the morning. And as I'm doing this, I'm like pulling like open pieces of my clothing and a mixture of little various like elemental creatures and spirits of like small sizes, swarm like roaches essentially, all over the room, creating various like small amounts of like illumination, kind of like various colored stars in the sky. And some of the fire sprites will like set fire to the rosemary and like eat at the smoke, while like the rock ones will like start to dig little holes in the ground and just like sit. And after everyone's like calm and settled, then Conley will roll over as well and go to bed.
All right. 13. Please roll me a perception check as you take your watch.
Okay. 13.
Okay. You perch on kind of one of the cliff sides of this kind of enclave, so to speak, and
It's,
yeah.
He breathes for a second, and his eyes go more rounder, like owl eyes, and he will stick to the wall like a gecko and just clamber around, just keeping a lookout in this little area.
Absolutely. As you pace back and forth and kind of make your way along the walls, mostly it's just you and your thoughts. There's little sounds coming from the animals tied up down below that die off. Kind of the quick flapping of wings from a bird that flies by. But most of your watch, nothing seems to happen. And in fact, the entire thing, not just most.
He's going to clamber back into the tiny hut, blink twice to make sure his eyes are normal, and wake up the next person.
Okay. Who is the next person?
He's Jackal.
Yeah. If Sivan was going last.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like jump out, try to climb up to the top of the cliff and just like get a good look out.
Sure. Absolutely. So make me a perception check.
22.
Okay. So, yeah, you find your way up. It's probably a solid 200 feet of different kind of climbing up to the top of this canyon wall. And you're able to do so, especially with the fact that there's so many handholds from these scattered caves built into the side of this canyon. And as you get up to the top, you're met with a beautiful sight as this rock formation completely extends hundreds, thousands of feet up until the very back of this mountainside that you know to be the Verizio mountain range. And it's really just kind of silhouetted by the stars and dark blue indigo of the night sky. Most of your watch is unhindered, and then about 3/4 of the way through, you start to feel a little scratch at the back of your back, and just like the very faintest of movement, you kind of feel one little tiny little, like not scratch, but one little tiny almost touch, and then another, and then another, and another. And they all seem to be very tiny and small. And it seems to stop after making a few different touches on your back. What do you do?
Like outside my clothes or inside my clothes? Because that is a big difference.
Standing still, you can tell it's probably kind of like on the right in between your pants and your shirt, so it seems kind of close to where that opening would be.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna look down and see what that is.
Well, it's like right on kind of like your lower back. So how are you?
Yeah.
Are you? If you turn around like
I'll,
that?
I'll like take out one of my knives and like try to get a good look without like trying to move too much.
Okay, make me a sleight of hand check.
10.
Okay. You don't seem like
Jack is as uncomfortable as I am.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of look back, and even though you don't feel like you're the best at maneuvering your blade, you turn back to see a small gecko that is curious about the smells of your belt and pack, that is harmlessly climbing up on your the back of your jacket.
Okay. I'm gonna like try and like move my hand so that the gecko gets on it and kindly remove the gecko from my person.
Yes, absolutely. It originally kind of like it freaks out for a second, and as you kind of like are able to pick it up, it realizes you're not causing it any harm, and just kind of like looks up at you, and then it jumps off as it's kind of like scampers off into the night.
Neat.
And the rest of your watch goes by unharmed.
Cool. I'm gonna climb back down and let Sivan take the last watch.
Absolutely.
I'm going to... So the tiny hut is a little ways back into this enclave. I'm just going to sit at the very edge of it.
Sure.
I'm not going to climb out anywhere. That seems like a ton of work.
Sure.
So I'm just going to sit like cross-legged right at the very edge of it and just look out over this big expanse, this opening.
Absolutely. Make me a perception check.
Okay, perception. 12.
Okay. You kind of enjoy the sights of this canyon, kind of framing the night sky as it goes by. Definitely not unfamiliar to you. And most of the watch is pretty uneventful, and then about halfway through you see some dark figures that seem to be lupine in shape at the opening of the canyon. And for a second it looks like they're about to enter towards you, and then it seems like they make their way past the opening, and everything is fine. Your watch goes by unharmed, and at the end of it, you start to see the breaking of dawn as this purplish orange starts to crest the horizon.
Okay, well, I'll just go back in and start to wake everyone. I'm just going to be like kicking 13 very gently on the bottom of his foot, like 13, 13. 13, 13, 13. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time to get up. Let's go do something fun.
So you're telling me exploring a jail with 2 demons inside of it isn't what you consider fun?
I mean, it's fun now that we got out. 13, come on, get up, get up. You're slow. Come on, come on.
slowly gets up, licks his palm, and just styles his hair back.
You hear a very large
God, this guy.
from the back of from the back of the enclave as Garunda stretches his arms as far as he can and sits up. He goes, "Good morning. How's everyone tonight?"
Well, it's daytime, but
Well,
good.
How was your night?
I don't know. Regular? Dark? Nighttimey?
In this canyon, regular is a blessing.
Maybe we can make it back to what's the town name?
Ortazim.
Like we can make it back to Ortazine.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it shouldn't take more than about half the day.
All right. And then how much DM? How much longer is Holozon from there?
You know that on quick animal back, it would be about a similar amount, about half a day, maybe slightly longer than it took to get here back. Or no, sorry, slightly less time to get back to Holozam from Ortazim than it was from Ortazim to here.
Do I think that we would be able to get back in without wading through the gigantic line?
You would know that you have certain crests that those who are close to, those in your line of work have to be able to demonstrate that they can go through without the normal rabble of the common folk that have to wait in line.
Cool.
As a note, do you have the scarf? Does Jackal still have the scarf?
I think I would have given it back.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know. I just making sure. Cool.
So
Are we heading out?
yes, is there anything else you'd like to do here before we make our way back? Is everyone is Conley's is he down there?
Conley?
If you look outside, Conley is already packed up and done for the morning. Equipment already back up on canoe, and is just sprawled out on canoe's back, armor and shirt off, just kind of soaking in the desert sun.
Yeah, I told you we were going too slow. Come on.
Oh, you are awake already. Okay, let's go.
You all don't waste time, and I like that. Unless, well, except when you're inside an strange mythical elevator in a crumbling prison. Never mind.
It wasn't wasting time. You're being dramatic again. We were going to make it out. Probably.
I like your confidence. After the years that I have under my belt, it's hard to maintain sometimes.
I'll just climb out.
Jackal is already climbing down.
Sure. Anything else you'll want to do before you get back up on your massive dune beetles, or I believe someone might have a kangarat as well.
I'll put my armor back on and get ready to actually ride.
Sure. Okay. Then if no one has anything else to do, then you all take off with Garunda back at the kind of taking the lead, navigating out through these canyon tunnels and the kind of rhythmic scuttering of your large insects or bugs is the majority of what your ears are consumed with as you take out to the open desert sands, where the sun is very hot and beating down upon the area. You start to take off and leave the mountain range behind you and these cliffs as the rest of your journey as it was before. There's a lot of open sand and nothing but your thoughts and the sound of your animals.
Now, whenever we get back to Ortazine, Conley, I know I owe you an audience with somebody. 13, Sivan, are you also heading into Holozon?
We've got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going. We're just kind of here to hang out, honestly.
Didn't you say that you wanted to see the wonderful splendor of that coronation festival?
I mean, I always like a party.
There's a lot of those nowadays in Halazan.
I'm just here because she's here.
But that's
I'm that friend you drag along.
that's one way to do it. But which one of you has that scarf you found? Make sure to not leave that anywhere someone could take it. I think that's quite the object.
Why? It is very hot here. Don't you think we don't need that kind of clothing?
Something tells me it's not exactly for the function of staying warm.
There are,
I'll fill Conley in briefly on what we...
Oh, okay, so it is magic, okay.
I think there are people in Halazan who might be very interested in that item and what it was
Kind of
doing there.
people.
I know of these druids. Is that who you're talking about?
She's one of them, yeah.
Yes, they call themselves the Reclaimers of Tartager. They're the ones that plant all the trees on the outside of the city walls there. It's what keeps back most of the desertification.
Think I will be
No,
okay with giving them something like this then?
Maybe, maybe not.
I think
Why would they want this scarf? That doesn't make sense. If they are supposed to grow trees, what do they need this for?
I don't know if it's something that they particularly want. I'm more interested in what it was doing there. Does it need to go back, or is there some other place that we should be moving this? Also, is there somebody who, in particular, who would need to know the situation at the prison?
You would be able to report that back to some of your agents, and then specifically, you kind of have a check-in with Onarak, who is the High Vizier of the Sultan. That is kind of your next boss in the chain of command. But beyond that, you're kind of the main... If any other agent were to come out here and carry out what you've done, they would report back to you.
Right. Cool.
Well, I can take you as far as Ortazim, and then, well, I've got to inform some of the other Serabs that I'm not sure if Patria made it.
I think I'll be able to handle it from there.
Well, it was fun traveling with you all like this, and, well, like you said, I need to craft that story into some kind of song for my Serabs or something. Shouldn't go to waste.
Don't tell people about me though. You can take me out of your story.
If you so wish.
Don't want people to talk to me.
I can
I
respect
mean, are you going
that.
to make us sound really cool? Because if you're going to make us sound cool, then you definitely need to put my name in there. And I'll spell it if you need me to.
Well, if I'm describing the action, I might leave the part out where you are standing on this moving platform without climbing up and letting rocks fall upon you. But you know what? The rest of it will be action-packed, I assure you.
You seem to be dwelling on that.
It's hard not to give someone a hard time after their original dust, whatever that thing is called. Well, it seems like you have a propensity for danger, Sivan.
I mean, sure. Okay. Yes, sure. Put that in your story too. That makes me sound even cooler.
That I will. And anything else anyone wants to talk about before you finish your journey? Okay. Then the rest of your journey you're left to your own thoughts. And the harsh desert sun beats down, but it's not without complete respite, as you have your water skins and coverings to help. And finally, after about half the day where the sun's at its peak, you make it back to the small border town of Ortazim, where this long encompassing wall bars the main passage into the province of Zaracuda. It has a small kind of ditch in front of it, and the town is encompassed outside of the main gate. You see that people are still lined up on this main street, bustling as it used to be before, that are waiting to get in. People are rowdy, people of all sorts of kind of trades, vocations, sizes, shapes, and ancestries line up here, and they seem to have been there for a long time.
Is there another entrance that we would be able to use, or is it just this one?
You know that this is the main one unless you want to try to attempt to climb the wall.
Great. Y'all stick with me. And I'll be that asshole at Disney with a fast pass.
Yeah. So you kind of make your way through the main city streets, or town streets, and up to this large gate. You can see that it has kind of like a very large stone slab. That's the main kind of mechanism that holds this down, but it's also got a small person door that is used for moving between in small numbers. Right now the gate is completely up, and you see 3 large burly guards that are standing in uniform in front of it, where the impatient line is not far behind. Are you walking up to one of the guards, or what is your approach?
Yeah, I'm going up to him with my friends in tow.
Okay. As you walk up, they go, "Another hopeful. What do you think you're doing here?"
I think I'm bringing these fine people in.
What makes you think you can go before anyone else? They've
I'll
been
show
waiting.
the seal.
Okay, so as you pull out this small little brooch, it's a kind of a carved, jeweled depiction of a sun, and instead of the kind of like flames coming out of the sun, it seems to be petals of some sort of flower, and in the center it's got this blue, like where the sun kind of like center would be, it's a blue gemstone. As the guard kind of like is chumming to himself about like, oh, this hopeful person trying to skip the line, the second that he sees this seal within your hand, he immediately goes from like, oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I did not realize I was in the presence of someone that works with the Sultan. I am very sorry.
Now I'm gonna bring these fine people with me into the city. They've got something for honor seers only.
Yes.
Are you gonna stop me?
No, sir. You can make it on through.
All right, I appreciate it.
And they kind of like pull aside the smaller door, still big enough to get your animals through.
Would we have seen you display this amulet, Jack, or were you trying to keep it subtle?
Subtle enough that the other people in line wouldn't be able to see it, but I mean, you can try to catch a glimpse, sure.
Mayhaps I had seen it, DM?
Yeah, you would have seen that something was flashed, some recognition across that guard's face. And if you looked down, you would have seen a small little bauble, yeah.
Okay.
Do with that what you will.
Right.
So
Like I said, stick with me.
So basically, after this large marble walled gate, you enter into the province of Zaracuda, where initially past this gate, you find a kind of a guard outpost that's just directly on the other side of this wall, and then farther out, it seems to be more open desert, slightly more cultivated and lived in than before. This kind of seems to be the countryside of Zaracuda, and farther in, you can definitely see the metropolis of Halazam in the very, very, very far distance. And with that, you kind of make your ways back onto your animals and continue along this kind of dirt road with enclaves of kind of villages here and there. But it takes you a solid another 5 or 6 hours to get through to Halazam. Is there anything anyone wants to do en route?
Sixes is just gonna pull out a small bandana and just wrap it around his head, just to conceal that mark on his forehead.
Okay. Absolutely.
I'm going to scooch up to Jack. That guard from earlier, he said that you work with the Sultan? Like it is your job friend or something?
That's right.
So then, could you just tell me who the next Sultan is going to be and what he is like? It will save me a lot of time. I'm only coming here so I can make sure he was okay or they were okay.
I'm afraid not even I'm privy to that information.
Okay, but I get to meet this person?
Once we know who they are, sure.
You don't know who they are?
No,
Why not?
I just haven't been told that.
Oh, so you're not like good friends or something. You just help them from time to time?
And Jackal, just to supplement your information, you know that the decision of the next Sultan, the Sultanu Akir, is known as kind of like the heir, is basically only up to the Sultan's decision, and he has not said a single word to anyone in public or private that you know of that he has come to any sort of decision. You know that usually they stay within their own family if they think that either of their children are good enough for it, but right now the Sultan has been absolutely tight-lipped.
That would be a correct statement, yes, Mr. Conley.
Okay, but you definitely think that we can go meet the Sultan? Like that is going to be a thing that is going to happen?
I will try my best for us to get a meeting with the Sultan. I know at the very least we can get a meeting with the High Vizier.
I don't like when people just try to do things. Can't you just say whether or you do or do not do a thing?
Whenever I know who the next Sultan is, yes, I can get you a meeting with them. Just in some capacity.
Okay. Let's just kind of ride away a little bit.
All
I
right.
think while this is going on,
Guys, I hope
behind...
that capacity is going to be legal.
I was going to say I'm probably walking several feet behind with 13. Probably can't hear the details of that conversation, but can see fervid discussion going on, and I'm just going to lean over to 13 and say, do you think that he's famous or something? How did we get to just skip the whole line?
Never judge anyone the first time you meet them.
But if he's like famous, maybe we could stay in some really nice like hotels and stuff. It would be nice to not sleep in that dome.
I like the dome.
Okay, well, the dome is fine, I guess. But you know what's even better is a hot bath.
Oh. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just gonna push that thought out of my mind.
I don't know if I will want to know.
Do Leon in this world take cat baths, or is it actual like? Okay, cool. I'm
gonna say that's up to you.
An actual bath would be nice, actually.
See, so maybe if we just like, I don't know, get on this good side.
Oh,
Maybe we could skip the line everywhere.
I remember in the last town they had what was the soap spheres you put in and it makes the water fizzly.
Oh, I stole some of those. I have a couple in my bag. If you want.
Fucking yes.
Yeah.
All right. You all continue your journey through the province of Zaracuda, and you're kind of definitely in the middle of the countryside. Not much is going on around here. You pass a couple crossroads here and there, but Jackal knows exactly the way forward. And about halfway through your journey, in the midst of the kind of like very agricultural areas of Zaracuda, you come across a kind of opening in the road, and you're kind of passing a couple rock formations, and on the other side you find on an open road an overturned carriage in the background, or some sort of wagon. And what you see is that there's a couple figures clad in black robes surrounding it, seems like one of them is banging on one of the sides of the overturned carriage. You see that there's some kind of fruits or vegetables or cargo that is strewn about on the ground. You're probably about 200 feet away, and currently it doesn't seem like the figures have seen you.
How many people or figures did you say that there were?
There's four that you see around this carriage. All seem to be concentrating on something inside, as one of them is banging and starting to use the back of some sort of, seems like a scimitar or sword on the side of this carriage.
Do I buy that they might be a threat to us?
You would probably just see them as people clad in black robes. Jackal, Savan, or 13, you might be suspicious at this group because in their all black robed kind of visage, this seems to resemble a certain group of bandits that you have seen on the road before, known as the Wind.
Is it just them, or are there any other reinforcements on in the vicinity?
You just see them right now.
All right. I mean, if we get closer, Jackal is certainly prepared to address it.
Okay. Well, how do you want to approach?
Good, gentle people. Are y'all having carriage trouble or some other kind of trouble?
So you're walking up to them and saying this, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so as you approach, these figures in black turn to face you, and they immediately, you see that most of their faces are obscured by a mask that kind of, or like a cloth that goes from like their nose down, and then they have these hoods on, and their eyes immediately kind of dart, and you see the one that was banging on this carriage door overturned. They turn to you and they go, "What are you doing? This is none of your business. I recommend you continue your journey if you value your lives."
Just a very loud from 13.
Is something funny?
You were thinking you can threaten me?
Do you have a problem with that?
You can stop doing it.
Why don't you just make your way along?
And everyone, what is everyone's passive perception?
18.
Whoa. Oh, 14.
Okay.
13.
12.
Okay. Jackal, you hear from what seems to be coming from the carriage some sort of very faint
You want to explain that?
Look, as I mentioned, no one wants any trouble, and well, it would be a shame if some steel were to fall upon someone's very precious body parts, and no one really wants that, do we?
You're right. I'm sure you really don't want that to happen.
I would be the one not so worried about it in this arrangement, friend. I would be worried for your well-being.
I'll attack him.
Okay. Then let's roll some initiative.
Okay.
21.
Oh my god. Oh, that's correct.
I'm going to spend my advantage and roll my initiative again.
Okay.
Do I have that yet? No, that's a...
Do you want to call brackets, or do you want us to just tell you what's easier?
1 second. So Jack got a 21, right?
That's correct.
Okay, how about 13?
9.
Conley
17.
and Savon.
13.
Okay, so first up is appropriately Jackal, but I'm going to say I'm not going to give you a surprise round, but I'm going to say that because of the surprise of you attacking him from out of the blue, you will have advantage on your attacks this round.
I love that. Natural 20.
Okay. So what does this look like? You just were talking to this man 2 seconds ago. What's going on now?
Yeah, so I think as soon as like he reaches for his scimitar, Jackal is going to get out his short sword, and as he draws it, just sort of do like the anime like draw a sword thing, and just like aim for the thing keeping the scimitar on his side. So like he's trying to cut off the sheath.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so you're able to kind of like deftly make an upwards motion as you quickly draw your sword and kind of slash through his kind of like upper thigh and through his waist. How much damage does this do?
31 points.
Jackal, how would you like to do this?
I cut off a little bit more than the sheath.
Okay, yeah, so you make a massive slice that goes deep into his thigh, up through some of his stomach and innards, and immediately as he's kind of like falls over mid-sentence and collapses on the ground.
Who's up next in initiative?
Conley.
Okay, so I think I would like to use my bonus action to just like draw as much of that attention to myself and help out Conley. So
Okay.
Conley, you should have advantage on the next attack.
All right, thank you.
All right, so next up is Conley.
Conley sighs. Is this going to take a long time? I asked the Jackal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you shouldn't. No.
I pull out a javelin from Canoe's side pouch. Okay. Just throw to the nearest the wind person.
Okay.
Okay. I have advantage, which gave me a nat 20.
Okay. That's totally fine.
All right, so that totals to... Oops, just the one. Okay, that is 15 piercing damage.
And this is with your spear, right?
This is a javelin.
The javelin.
Are they still alive?
They are. However, as you pierce them into the torso, they look incredibly taken aback and bloodied by it.
Out from the pores of the wood in the spear swarm small biting ants, and I use my gathered swarm to deal an additional chunk of piercing damage to around like the skin right outside of the spear or the javelin, doing a whole extra 1 point of piercing.
Okay, so you hear an initial kind of like as everyone's immediately getting their weapons ready, this one draws a dagger. He goes, "Hey," and then you hear as these ants start to nibble into him.
All right.
That's your turn?
For now, yeah. I'll be done.
Next up is the one that you just threw this javelin into's turn. And as he's kind of like, he's coming at you. He looks incredibly mad and just like very taken off guard. He takes these 2 daggers and he's going to take 2 swings. He's going to walk up to Conley and try to throw some steel.
As you enter in my within 10 feet of me,
Yeah.
I will need a, what is it here? Which type of save? Con save.
Okay.
As my spores start to react defensively.
Okay. He got a natural 20.
Well, dang.
He seems like he's now ready to brave anything after these ants have erupted out of this javelin. So he kind of like takes your spores and kind of like shoves them off, and as he comes at you, he goes directly for your torso with 2 of his daggers. The first one is a 21 to hit, and the next one is a 16 to hit.
Hit and glance.
Hit and glance, okay. So the first one is going to do 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the second one is going to do 4 halves to 2 damage. As both of them kind of like dig into your torso, but one of them grazes.
All right.
He kind of like looks satisfied at you and he goes, "You will regret this."
And you will die.
And next up is the wind guy number 4. Very important member. And he is going to take out a scimitar from his sheath and see Jackal has just completely eviscerated his friend and tried to take a swing at Jackal. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. And that will do... that's going to be 11 points of slashing damage.
Uncanny dodge.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. That's going to be his turn. Next up is Savan.
Savan has been very much trying to sidle behind 13 because this is what are we doing here? I just want to take a bath. But once everything breaks out, I'm going to, especially seeing the swarm and all that going on, I'm just going to be like, oh, that's gross, and I'm going to just hurl a firebolt at the one that Conley stabbed.
Okay, go for it.
Duck back behind 13. I'm going to use... You know what? No, that's a natural one. I'm just going to fail it.
Okay, yeah, so this firebolt goes whizzing by his head. Is there any kind of like flavor you want to throw on that? Is Savan just kind of like flustered, or is she just kind of not?
I kind of imagine like, because I'm trying to make sure I'm not being seen and I'm ducking right back behind 13, it probably just like goes wide.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to like be pointing very awkwardly at 13, like, it was him, I didn't do it.
Right.
Get back behind 13.
Okay. Next up is 13 himself. There are basically, there's one guy right up against the Jackal, one right up against Conley, and one who hasn't gone yet, near the carriage.
13 is going to close his eyes, focus, and he grabs his tail and will rake a claw across it, and there is a hissing sound as his tail is replaced by the body of a snake with the head on top.
Okay.
As he rages.
Okay.
And he will make one attack on the guy versus Conley.
Okay.
With his claws first. Does a 13 hit?
It does not. It just barely misses.
And then a tail attack on the one on Jackal. I have 10 feet of range with it.
Sure.
Does a natural 20 hit?
Oh my god! Y'all don't even need crits! Alright. Yeah, so...
Oh, I should be making that claw attack at advantage because it's a melee. Because I could reckless, actually. But I'll do it next turn.
Okay. So roll me your damage.
19 on the guy versus Jackal.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot of damage. And so tell me, what does this look like? So you take some swipes against this original guy, and then what does this look like as a 10 feet away range whips out from him?
There is the dart, like something darts out of the shadows, wraps around the guy's leg, drags him down, and then it raises up and just boom, hits him, and then jets back into 13.
And is this the snake appendage, or is this something else?
This is the snake tail.
Okay, yeah, so everyone around you see this snake appendage whip out from 13's tail, kind of batter and strike at this guy that looks immediately badly wounded. And in fact, from the kind of like unexpectedness of this, It actually pulled him down and fell, and now he's prone as the snake completely pulled his legs out from under him as well. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Next up is the guy who hasn't gone yet, Bandit number 3. And he looks immediately alarmed at all this. And he takes something out of his pocket. And you see him take something and go... and he takes it and he throws it directly in the middle of you all as this small little package of, it looks like paper with a small thing of smoke trailing from it. Makes its way into the center of you all, and as you look down at it, and the smoke immediately emits out from it. Nothing completely negative in terms of effect. However, it looks like most of your view is obscured, and you don't hear anything else from him as most of your vision is obscured from him. But that's all of his turn, so we're back at the top of the round with Jackal.
I would like to leave the smoke cloud.
Okay, yeah. Now, there's a guy directly in front of you. If you leave that space, then it'll provoke an attack of opportunity.
Sure, but he cannot see me, so...
He can see 5 feet in front of you, so because you can see 1 square, basically.
Okay.
So if you do move, he will get 1 attack, or you can use your action to disengage, or I believe as a rogue, you might be able to disengage as well.
I can. I'm more interested in just, like, keeping the guy who lit off the smoke bomb in my sight.
Then do you wish... so you do not want to disengage, you just want to leave the space, is that correct?
Yeah, I want to try and get on the guy who's trying to leave.
Okay, so the guy who was directly in front of you is going to try to take a swipe at you with a scimitar as you leave his space.
Sure.
That is going to be a 20 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be 6 points of slashing damage.
That's fine. I'm gonna duck between his legs and move over to the next person,
Okay.
and try and get them with my short sword.
And this is the guy, are you going for the smoke bomb guy or the other one?
Smoke bomb guy.
Okay, so as you emerge out of the smoke bomb area, you see that this figure that threw it is 30 feet away now, trying to kind of duck behind what looks like a rock formation.
Then I will try and get him with my short bow.
Okay, go for it.
9.
9 will unfortunately not hit.
All right. And then I will just like yell out where this person is and try and again just draw attention to where the very loud person with the very quick sword is, and give 13 some help.
Okay.
For my bonus action.
All right. So 13 will have advantage on his next attack. Next up is Conley.
Okay, to confirm, you said within 5 feet of us, we still can kind of see like what's going on?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm still up on Canoe, and I like look around real quick to see what's going on. And once it kind of like, clicks in my head that we have obscured vision, Conley just... And I reach out my arm towards the unfortunate person, and like hold up just a single little flea, just one. And as it jumps out of my hand, I whisper something, and it shatters like a shotgun blast into dozens, hundreds, thousands of fleas, and it swarms this enemy. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, that he will. He got a 16.
Where is this? Well, dang. Okay. Does this immediately stop anything? Okay. On a saving throw. Okay, so you will take just 3 poison damage.
Okay.
And northeast, southwest, D4. 4 is west. So the infestation swarm is so massive that it actually pushes the enemy 5 feet to the west.
Yeah, so this guy in this smoke cloud being hit by javelin and then ants and then almost getting spored. He just kind of took these 2 swipes at you, and you unleash the swarm at him, and he goes, I hate bugs, ah! And as he kind of takes some damage, he's immediately kind of like pushed back out of the way. Yeah. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Well, with my... No. I will... I still am within 5 feet of this person, or did I push them far away?
I'll say yes. It'll just be you're just diagonal to them now.
Okay, I'll stay here. I have something to do.
Okay. Next up is the bandit number 2, who was the one that originally was swiping at Jackal, and so he's going to follow Jackal out of the fog cloud, see where Jackal is gone, and try to make another swipe at his person. That is going to be a 15 to hit.
Glancing.
Okay, glancing blow. That is going to be 8 damage halved to 4.
Cool.
As he kind of follows you out and he goes, no you don't! That is going to be his turn. Next up is the one that is immediately in front of Conley, who is very kind of bleeding, attacked by a swarm, not looking fun, not having a good time, and he is going to kind of turn back to Conley and go, stop it with these bugs! And take 2 more attacks against you. One of them is an 18, the other one is a 16.
All right, hit and glance again.
Okay, man. Consistency. Oh, he got real bad. So yeah, that's 4 damage on the first one, and a whopping 1 damage on the second.
All right.
That's going to be his turn. Next up is Sivan.
Okay, so I heard Jackal shouting that someone was getting away.
Yep.
I first want to try and get out of this fog cloud. If I don't see anybody in my immediate melee / vicinity, I'm gonna try to maneuver my way out of however much movement it might take.
Yeah, the fog cloud was only about a 15-foot radius, so you were probably close to the outskirts anyway, and you can kind of maneuver around it and see that Jackal, the second guy that was attacking Jackal, and the one that is now 30 feet towards this rock formation are all in sight.
Okay. I'm gonna firebolt again at the one that's getting away, I suppose.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna use one of my crits, because why not?
Okay, go for it. So, yeah, what's your damage?
So it's 2d10. Are you at 10? Yeah, you are. I should ask, do you prefer that we roll once and double that, or roll twice?
I am good with either, and I personally like the 2 dice myself, but that's up to you.
Like roll it 2 separate times?
Yeah.
Okay, so... So that's 15 points of fire damage.
Okay, yeah, so a bolt of flame. By the way, where is someone casting this from? Is it from her hand or from an object?
I think as I'm kind of clearing, almost in just the briefest moment of slow-mo as I'm coming out of the fog cloud and just clocking all these people in front of me, I am going to... I don't even know if I realize that Gypsum has all of a sudden manifested, but as Gypsum kind of slithers down my arm, as his head meets where my palm is, I'm just going to extend my hand and the firebolt will emit forward.
Okay, yeah, so bolt of flame emits out and as this kind of impact and flame kind of erupts from his chest. As he's kind of turned back for a second, he goes, and he kind of just gives you this growl as this fiery kind of dent in his chest looks very painful, and he's kind of trying to pat out the flames. And he looks like he's starting to bleed from it.
Beautiful. How much movement did it take for me to get out of the cloud?
Maybe 10 feet.
Okay. If I have 20 feet left, I'm going to try to maneuver around whatever Jackal is working on and try to close a little of that distance, so I'll just get 15 feet closer.
Yeah, so you're about 15 feet away from him.
Cool.
Cool. Next up is going to be 13.
I am on top of the one guy that's fighting Connolly right now.
Correct.
So I will reckless attack with my claws.
And you actually get advantage anyway because of Jackal's help, so if you don't want to reckless, you can not.
I want a reckless to get all my attacks in.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry.
No worries.
21 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 10 points of slashing damage.
Yeah, that's the one on Conley.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to do this?
Conley just like sees a claw go through the guy to grab the javelin that's still embedded and just yank it back out, and then 13 just tosses it up back to Conley.
Thank you.
A bloody, very messy, gross javelin back to you as this guy fighting you kind of turns around and goes, "What?" and completely collapses on the ground.
I
And I know-
smile and heft the javelin. You do a good job.
I try, and he'll turn to the guy who attacked Jackal and hit him.
Okay.
With a tail attack for 27 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Or piercing.
Yeah. So this tail erupts from 13 again, and this guy looks completely taken aback as does it kind of like bite into his leg or his torso?
Does this kill him?
It does not quite. It looks like it's almost there.
Basically, what happens is 13 turns as the guy he first finished off is like dropping to his knees. His tail wraps around his legs, and then whips it out and chucks the body at the guy and just hits him.
Okay, so you kind of use your tail to grab onto this guy as he's collapsing and sweep him around with a supernatural seeming strength and slams into his friend and looks like he's almost down for the count, bleeding profusely.
Is this the MFer who was talking crap?
The one who was talking crap died in the first round.
Cool.
Is that your turn?
Yeah. He'll move up to the guy he just hit and just go, "Hey."
Okay. 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 All right, next up is the guy who's running away, and he sees that Savan and Jackal are in pursuit, and he goes, and he takes out something from his pocket, and he goes, and from it, a very thin, piercing bolt emits directly at Savan, and it seems like he
Whatever he's about to do. Is he about to attack me with a roll?
You see that a tube is emitting, and he's about to blow something at you.
I feel like for a split second, my vision kind of clears and there's nobody in this area except for me and this person. Mm-hmm. And in this like really split second vision, I see this dart just going completely wide, and he's just gonna roll a 4.
Okay.
Whatever he's about to do.
Yeah. So for a second, it seems like for you, almost time stops for a second, and you just know that this isn't going to hit you, and you don't even make a move as he pulls up this pipe and out comes this bolt that you knew was going to go wide, and it went in the exact trajectory you saw it was.
I'm so good at this. I should charge people for this.
You see that as he makes this attack, he sees it go wide, and he looks like kind of confused, flabbergasted for a second, and then he turns and he takes off, sprinting away behind this rock formation. And that's going to be his turn. Back up to the top with Jackal.
Is he still within sight?
He's within sight. You look like he's about to turn a corner, though. Like one more round and he'd be behind this rock.
Then it sounds like it's time for me to take some steady aim
Okay.
and take advantage on this roll
Okay.
with my short bow.
Go for it.
26.
Okay. Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
Okay. It is going to do 15 points of damage.
Oh, okay. That's a lot, yeah. So, yeah, this guy, you hit this guy in the back of his shin, and immediately you see his gait stop, and blood start to spurt from it, and he goes, "Ah!" He's trying to kind of limp away.
And yeah, I'm gonna try to run after him.
Okay, you are.
I know I've still got the guy behind me. I'm okay taking the attack.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. He kind of says, "You never learn," and he gets an 11, so he doesn't hit you. Next up is going to be Conley.
What is Canoe's movement speed?
Canoe's movement speed. This is your beetle, right?
Yeah.
I would say in combat it's a little bit harder than normal, so without much notice, it's about 20 to 30 feet.
Okay. Well then, I will like pull myself and Canoe out of the smoke. If I'm still able to see the fleeing target, I'm going to kick into the chitin of Canoe to get them to run towards this person.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to get about halfway through, or halfway to him.
Mm-hmm. And then, what's the casting time for this? Good. For my bonus action, I am going to like point my finger like a toy gun, and in Primordial say target, and cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay.
It is now marked, and then I'm going to follow up with another javelin throw.
Okay, go for it.
Javelin. Huh. And I'm gonna spend my crit.
Okay.
That's javelin. This plus a d6 plus. That is a total of plus the Hunter's Mark. That is a total of 17 piercing.
Conley, how would you like to finish this fleeing bandit off?
So after I point at it and say target and throw the javelin, it whistles into the air and pins the fleeing target into the rock, hitting so hard it kind of cracks and like embeds itself in a little bit. And as soon as it does so, is the smoke cleared up by now, or is it still like pretty thick? Would I be able to see? Yeah, would I be able to see the other remaining person?
Yep, because he had to leave the smoke in order to hit Jackal, so.
Okay, then without turning the horse around, just turning and smiling and pointing at the remaining bandit.
Mm-hmm.
Target. And the mark now transfers to them.
Okay. So this epic, like, riding your beetle out, marking,
oh wait, I can't do that. That was the second bonus action.
Okay. Well, you can, in spirit, be like, well, you're next, right? You know. So,
I'll still point.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's awesome. That was really cool. As you see that this javelin flows through the air, and as it seems like it's going to hit, but then like almost supernaturally it seems to drift in the air so that it pierces directly into the back of into this guy's back, and you hear a as he kind of and he goes limp as he kind of stays slightly pinned up to this rock.
Very good.
And that's going to be this last bandit here, who sees the absolute destruction of his friends around here. He goes, huh? Okay. And he takes off back into the fog cloud, avoiding everyone's kind of area at the moment. And you see that from as he takes off from the other side, those of you who are outside of the cloud, see that he's made it about 60 feet past the cloud and a dead next sprint. And that's going to be his turn. And next up is Savant.
Where are you going? Firebolt.
Okay, go for it. Roll it.
Hold on. I forgot what my bonus is. 16.
That'll hit.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll take it. That's 18 points of fire damage.
Savant, how would you like to do this?
God!
Honestly, with as little flash and pomp as you've probably seen Sivan ever do anything, just honestly, almost like she almost didn't mean to do it, like as a reflex, cast this spell, but genuinely, he's like, "Where are you going?" Hit him in the back.
Okay, yeah, he's taking off in this dead neck sprint. He's not looking back at all, and he's kind of like, "Oh, I'm almost done. I'm almost out. Almost out." And then, as he's making, you see a small puff of dust just kind of like emit as he face plants into the sand, and he goes limp and is no longer moving. And,
There's the glint of predatory eyes as the snake tail like lowers next to Sivan.
Just 13.
And as the clash of battle subsides and the combatants are dealt with, the fog or the smoke bomb kind of starts to drift away, and you hear a clamoring from inside this carriage as suddenly a large kind of like wooden door snaps out, and you see a kind of stout, short human man who kind of comes out and says, "Thank God!" And that is where we're going to go to our short break. So
Right.
stay tuned, guys. We're going to take a quick break. Go stretch, get some water, take a bio break, pet your pets, and we will see you back here soon. All right, we'll be right back.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know, and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. The limit of love is endless, I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. I give you my everything. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know, and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. And give me your freedom. Whoa, yeah, me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like
Here, on Open for Adventure, we are making high-quality Dungeons & Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Asmar. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our undying love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please. The Loremaster. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, Open for Adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Senmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Senmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Senmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by Found Familiar. Did you know that every bag of Found Familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of Found Familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Senmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by Found Familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. Found Familiar coffee. Buy it today.
Oh baby, I love is so easy. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're right in a way, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium.
And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. Let's jump right back in. Our party find themselves on the way to the capital city of Zaracuda, known as Halazam, and have found an overturned carriage where they just dispatched a group of bandits. And as this fight comes to subside, this large wooden door of this carriage flaps open, and from it, a smaller, portly, stocky man comes out and says, "Oh, thank gods you're here. You are here to save me, yes?
Well, that is what we did, yeah.
Well, I do appreciate it quite a lot. Oh goodness, all my dates and olives strewn everywhere. Would you help me clean this up?
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we could. We'll do. I mean.
We're not supposed to be doing this. I don't even know this person.
Well, could you at least get my carriage back up with me? It's kind of heavy.
I'll athletics it.
Sure. Go for it. Make me an athletics check.
12. Here comes the pulled muscle.
It looks like you're able to start to pick it up, but you're not making a ton of headway on your own.
I'll try to assist.
Okay.
Just a strength check or athletics?
Yeah, athletics, which would include your strength.
I guess it's the same, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same.
He kind of walks over and steps out of the carriage and kind of helps you as well.
That's a nat 20.
Okay.
For a 22.
So this massive built barbarian of a Leonin is struggling with it, and his friend, this wizard, steps over, and together, looks like you make it look easy as you're able to right this carriage from its side. Oh, well, that was quite impressive. Thank you. You don't have to worry about the olives and the dates. It's just so inconvenient. Look, I really do appreciate it. What are your all's names?
Like our what? You want to know our names?
Your names. I would like to know the names of the one who saved me.
Oh, so you can tell other people about how great we are?
Well, yes, in a way. You see, my family runs a very well-esteemed inn in Halarzam, and I'm sure that if you visited them, they would not take it lightly that, well, you see, I'm on my way to trade in Gorota for some of their parish fruit, you see, and, well, they really like dates and olives, so that was...
Do I know this person?
Make me, there's not like a local check. Make me like a history check.
7.
Okay, no, you do not know this person.
Do I know what the parish fruit is, since I'm from Garota?
Yeah, so those of you who have been in Garota before would know that a parish fruit is kind of like, it looks like a citrus, but it's kind of almost a rock-hard stone fruit, and its flesh, which is very like thin, is actually very spicy and numbing on the tongue. It's kind of a hard-to-get ingredient in Zaracuda.
Gotcha. Well, I'll just extend a hand. I'm Sivan. This is my friend 13. If we're talking about, favors or anything like that.
Yes. Please. It's nice to meet you. Please do go visit the mango tree. In Halazan. My father and mother will take great care of you. My name, by the way, I am Derulian Moringa of the Moringa family. So I really do appreciate it. It's not every day that one gets completely taken over by bandits on the road. I really shouldn't have been traveling alone, but I thought within our own province it wouldn't be an issue.
Is it a fairly new occurrence that the wind is operating within Zaracuda?
It is not a new operation that they're there at all. However, you know that their operations have been on the rise.
Yeah, things seem to be escalating out here. Jackal, by the way.
I do appreciate it, sincerely. Are you all traveling to the capital yourselves?
We are.
Are you there for the coronation or for your own business?
Other business.
And also parties.
Oh, well that's good, that's fortuitous. You see, I have some vouchers that I really can't do anything with, and, well, if you'd ask a common person, they'd be quite rare, but because our family is serving the Sultan for the coronation and cooking for them that night, well, we have quite a lot of these invitations. Have you ever heard of the Feast of Seasons? And basically none of you would accept
It's like
that call.
I don't know. Okay.
And Jackal, you would know that the Feast of Seasons, you've never experienced it, but it is known as the biggest feast in all of Zaracudan culture, specifically centered around the passing of sultanship from one person to another. And the seasons are supposed to represent kind of like all of the elements consenting to this new chosen, sultan and their power and ability to make peace. And so you know that this, you've never seen one before, but you know that this is probably the single most exclusive party before the coronation itself, and it is but a few hours before the Sultanu Akir is named, or the heir is named by the Sultan himself. And it happens in the actual Sultan's massive palace ziggurat. So you know this is kind of a big party.
And how long from now is this going to be?
You know that the coronation is in about 3 days.
All right. Well, that's a very generous gift that you're offering.
Well, I don't have much use of them because if I want to go, then I would just cook with my family, and well, I'm not even sure if I'm going to get back from this trading now that I have to put all this back together. So it's really of no use to me.
Well, very well, we would accept.
All right. He kind of goes back into his carriage for a second. The door open. He goes, "Oh goodness, everything's everywhere. Oh, my notes. Oh gosh, this is awful." And as he kind of like scrounging through, he comes out with a pretty ornate golden laid envelope, and within it are kind of like 4 slips of very kind of like ornately printed script. And you kind of see that it seems to be some sort of official invitation. He said, he hands them to you individually, and he says, you did say that you liked parties. Well, I think this one will not disappoint.
Okay, that's pretty exciting.
It's not black tie, is it?
Well, it is quite a formal event. Yes, it is where even the Sultan's family themselves will be. So I would break out your most formal wear and then upgrade it about 3 times in order to feel as if you were adequately dressed. But I'm sure they will not kick you out.
Okie dokie then.
So is that a no on helping me pick up these dates?
I'll lean my head. I'm just gonna lean in and kind of lazily like prestidigitation, just clean up a little of the mess underneath. I'm not really gonna do very much.
Poke at the back of Jackal with the non-pointy end of a spear. You said this wouldn't take long. We've been here for a while now.
I'm afraid we actually do have some urgent business in the city, so we need to be leaving as quickly as possible. But safe travels for, well, the rest of this.
Yes, I do appreciate it. Perhaps I will hire some guards when I get to Ortizim as to not be assaulted like this again.
Well, with as much money you have, you probably should.
Yes, that is no object for one of the greatest chefs of my family. I wish I was as good, but you know what? I will take their earnings and use it to ferry my olives as need be. Oh, would you like an olive, by the way?
Yes.
And he kind of like just gets a small basket and kind of hands you a small basket of olives. He goes, he kind of like starts picking his stuff up, but he says, "Safe travels to Halazam. It's quite a wonderful city if you haven't been there before. And enjoy the coronation because it won't happen probably in your lifetime again."
Hi, Cerulean.
Yes, it was good to meet you, Savan and Party. I will, if I ever see you back at the mango tree, I will stop by and say hello.
Great.
And after picking his stuff up, he kind of like mushes his horses and continues on his way opposite yours to Ortazine. You all get back on the road and are just about a couple more hours out from Halazan.
Does anybody want an olive?
Where
They're not
do
bad.
olives grow naturally?
Yeah, so you know that they are more coastal than, in at least in the Lazuqu desert, than inland. And so, Conley, you might have heard of these before, or if you've ever ventured to Zaracuda much before, then you would have had one, but they're not very common the farther away from the coast you get.
Okay. I will kind of shrug and extend a hand out to Sivan.
I'm gonna hold the basket out and just let you take an olive. You can have more than one if you want. There's a whole basket. I don't know why anybody would eat a basket of olives.
I reach in and grab one and
Be careful, there might be a pit in it. Don't crunch too hard. I said don't do that.
don't like it.
You eat around it.
Why wouldn't you just take it out when you plan to eat it?
I mean, you can do it. That's a lot of work. I don't have that kind of money. Do you have the kind of money to hire somebody to pick all the pits out of your olives?
Why don't you just pinch him? Is it too hard to get out that way? I don't. You can keep him. Thank you for letting me try, person.
It's quite briny, but it's for those of you who like olives, it's a pretty good olive.
And cats eat olives.
In this world, they can.
Okay.
No.
Anything else anyone wants to do before you all make your last leg of the journey?
I am sorry. How do you say your name? Is it Sivan or Sivan?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I was curious. I saw that you had your snake spit fire in the middle of that fight. So your snake can do magic?
Kind of, sort of. I don't, to be honest with you, don't exactly know everything that he does. He doesn't always tell me. We just kind of like to hang out.
Oh, so you can talk to your snake?
Yes.
Oh, that's very cool. Do you know what you can do with the snake skin? Or is it too young for that?
I mean, I don't know if you could take his skin off. Gypsum! And then Gypsum's gonna manifest over my shoulder and kind of like come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he slows down.
Gypsum, buddy, how do I take your skin off? How does that work?
Sivan, I don't think I'm used to this sort of question. Do you mean my shedding?
Yeah, because you don't, I mean, sometimes you're like kind of there, they're not really there, so it's like...
It's all telepathic, right?
Yes, this is all telepathic.
Yes. Sorry, yeah. If I take your skin off, is the skin really there? Nobody's ever asked me that. I've never thought of it before, so I'm just curious.
It seems like you have many questions, Sivan, but not all of them can I give you the answer.
You always say stuff like that. It's not very helpful. Oh, jeez.
Would you like to be around the next time that I shed skin?
Oh, Conley. He says maybe we could watch the next time he takes his skin off. If you want to see it, I don't know.
What? I do. But I did not see either of you move your mouth. How were you talking?
I say the thing, but I say it in my head, and then he tells me a thing. I usually just hear it in my head. The normal way.
Oh, so you share spores. Okay. You part of the same icon, it?
Do you understand what he's saying, Gypsum? What is? Do we share spores? Is that...
Spores? No. Are those like mice, but green?
No, I think they're like... What is a spore? It's like a floating mushroom or something. I don't exactly know.
I do not like mushrooms,
To Conley. He doesn't like mushrooms very much. I don't think that's what it is.
Oh, well then how do you speak? Because, and without moving my lips for the second half of the sentence, you hear in your head, Savan, because I can do it too, but my spores have to go inside your nose first.
Just gonna... What? What is it? What? What?
So you are saying that you don't have any of this? Your friends are not around you at all times?
Well, I have Gypsum and I have 13. So yes, my friends are always with me.
Can you show me the way that you talk without using spores? I'd like to learn.
I can try. I don't know, maybe. I learned it all from practicing and from books and stuff, so maybe.
Don't want to deal with anything that might have to deal with books. I would rather learn the way everybody else teach me, which was just by doing until you do it good.
Okay, well, books are pretty helpful, but I can try.
You would have to read first.
Oh, I'm gonna switch to Primordial. If the book is in this language, can you understand it better?
Oh yeah, I can understand that language perfectly.
Excellent.
I didn't know you spoke this. How did you learn?
Oh, how did you learn?
I kind of always could.
Same.
That is cool.
I am trying to take careful note of like the very slight difference in dialect that his Primordial is from mine, but I won't make any further comment on that.
My dialect, to those who don't understand the language like you and I can, is odd. Although it is like the primordial tongue, it kind of sounds like I constantly get stuck in loops where I will just say stuff like piri 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 piri. Oh, kokori, 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 kori, kori, kori.
I guess, yeah, technically with my heritage, if you don't understand what I'm saying, it sounds like rocks grinding together, like heavy rocks sliding up against one another. It doesn't sound like language at all.
That's awesome. I like it. Well, okay. You can show me maybe next time we go to bed.
Okay. And then I'll back and comment. 13, do you want an olive?
Been taking handfuls this entire time.
I just looked down, the basket's like almost empty.
Yeah.
God damn it, 13.
Listen, fighting takes up a lot of energy. And I am a big boy.
I'm just gonna just with the utmost resignation, just hand the basket over.
Thank you.
All right. And if no one has anything else they want to do, then you all continue upon your last leg towards Halazam. You just take a couple more hours through the countryside of Zaracuda, and about an hour later come upon kind of the outskirts and metropolis edges of Halazam, where this kind of like looming presence of the city enters your view to the point where it's the most dominant feature upon your upon the horizon. The first thing that strikes you is another layer of beautifully crafted, this time even higher than before, 50-foot tall marble walls that surround this city, and you can see that behind it is a sprawling metropolis of multiple layers of walls behind it, and you see a very, very, very large either palace or structure of terraced levels that kind of goes like up to the top, and in the very tip of very back of your view, you're able to see 4 spires or towers that exude out of the top of it, that seem to be architecturally very stunning and very well made. You kind of continue in towards the large outer wall, and you see that kind of like inlaid within the walls are these little glints of maybe like a foot or two wide kind of decorations with a piercing azure blue gemstone inlaid into them, or kind of not like it's a massive gemstone, but kind of like little slices are made into a pattern. And you can see that the gates themselves kind of have these azure inlays above them. And those of you who have been here before know that Halazam is known as the City of Azure. These blue ornamentations seem to be almost like portals to the crystal blue sky above. And it's a very beautiful kind of like architectural wonder. You make it through the first wall and gate where guards are set up on either side, but it's not restricted like it was in Ortazim. And you enter immediately into a very loud, bustling buzz of merchants and vocationalists and artisans and people moving here and there, all different shapes, size, and all seem to have their own purpose. People kind of crowd into this bazaar that is immediately like you kind of walk into kind of an open air bazaar, and you can see that there's a section of walls that kind of create these rings as you get closer to the center of the city. And Jackal, you feel like you're back in your element, back at home in the capital city.
If I wanted to get in contact with Alhamada, how would I do that?
Yeah, so you know that Alhamara is one of the... Not only is she one of the Reclaimers, and you know that some of her normal duties includes talking to some of the children around the different schools of Halazam, teaching them how to plant trees and learn about different types of plant life. And you know that the main place that she resides is at a temple of a Yajati. This Yajati, meaning kind of a spirit or god figure, this is the god called Tartager, which is the god of plants and plant life growth and that type of wild kind of wild magics. And you know that there's this temple, one of the most prominent temples within the city, known as the Emerald Pools, because they glow. They are said to have glown a bright green color with some kind of water that's in this temple. And you know them to be within the second main ring of the city, known as the Ring of Liberty.
And would I be able to get in contact with Honorok?
Yeah, so if you want to, you kind of have different contacts that you can kind of find laying about, and you can either send a missive from them as one of kind of like your informants, or you can kind of go to one of the nearest guard outposts, talk to someone who's there who can kind of deliver a message from that structure of government and go from there, or you can go back to the palace itself.
I want to just find a kid,
Okay.
or one of my kids,
Yeah.
and let them know to just let Honorok know that we're that I'm back in town,
Okay.
and have information. And so I'll need an audience with him. Him?
Yes, Onorok is a he. Yes.
Okay. And I'll tell everybody else about the Emerald Pools and Alamara.
Okay.
Hopefully I can get us all in space to have a little conversation with her.
Is this the person that you want to tell about the you-know-what?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, then let's go. You notice that since we've gotten in through the gates and joined the crowds,
I have kind of been a little bit more on edge. Conley has his hood up with like a jaguar-like cat head, and there's a soft, like yellowy orange glow from the underside of the hood, as I'm just kind of not enjoying my time right now.
Yeah, and I'll just let everybody know to stay very, very close and get us to the Emerald Pools.
Okay. You all make your way through a pretty busy open-air bazaar. You kind of like move through different people calling out for different goods they're selling upon on the road. You go through kind of like a vegetable market, a meat market, and different kind of sundries of sorts. You pass through a few kind of like tunnels through the different layers of the walls, through kind of like some residential areas, and then come upon the second main ring of this city, where you kind of see it's a little bit more residential and a little bit more, it has more temples and kind of like places of rest and public parks and things of that nature that are less business focused than the outer ring. And after making your way through just about 15 minutes-ish, you make your way to kind of a small portion of this ring where you can tell there are definitely a plethora of different temples around. And one of them at the end of a long street has an outer kind of wall of rock that's surrounding it, and you see a large knocker on a large stone door that marks the outside of the Emerald Pools. And Jackal, you're not used to this. Usually the Emerald Pools, the temple itself is pretty open to the public and wide open.
That's weird. And then I'll reach up and knock on the door.
Okay, here. And after a few seconds, you kind of hear something on the other side of the door for a second. And then after a slight hesitation, you see the door kind of like slowly kind of out for a little bit, but just about a crack, like a foot or two. And out of it, you see a figure hooded in a brown cowl, but hiding their over their face, kind of like you see them turn out, and it seems to be a female presenting kind of person turning out. And she says, "Can I help you? Can I help you?"
I certainly hope you can. I really need to speak to Alamara.
Oh, unfortunately, she's not here right now. We're very busy praying, and she's out.
This seems weird.
Yes, this does seem very weird.
Do I believe her?
You want to make an insight check?
Sure.
I would very much like to know if this is raising any sort of alarms.
Okay.
That's a 22.
Okay. Yeah, so Savon, you've never been here before, but you can tell when someone is lying and attempting to get out of a lie. This is one of those times. She says, "You'll have to come back later. I'm sorry."
I'll just lean over towards Jackal a bit. She's definitely lying.
Well, do you mind allowing us in to also offer our prayers to?
Oh, I'm sorry. The priests cannot be disturbed right now. They're deep in meditation. I'm very sorry. You have to come back.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us what's really going on here?
Oh, I'm very sorry. I really can't. And she starts to kind of close the door a little bit.
Mm-mm. Foot in the door.
Look, I really don't mean anything. She continues.
Hey. Do you know who I am?
No.
If you tell me what's going on here, there is a very good chance that I can fix whatever's going on here. So please.
Everything is fine. It's perfectly normal here.
I am attempting to persuade this individual to tell me what's going on.
Okay, make me a persuasion check.
17.
Okay. She says, I appreciate the offer. Look, it's really no issue. We're just a little bit short-staffed, and I'm newer here, and we just need some time to clean up before having any more visitors. So I really do appreciate it, and she's going to attempt to continue pushing the door closed despite your foot inside of it. So I'm going to need a contested athletics check from you. What'd you get?
8.
Okay, yeah, so she only got a 10, however, that's still higher than an 8. So, you kind of, even though your foot's there from behind, she's got a lot more leverage, and she kind of shoves your foot to the point where it's almost like caught in between the two parts of the door.
Fuck,
Do
my
you
tootsie.
want Canoe to open the door?
No.
By the way,
no.
I haven't really dismounted. Is that okay in town? Has anyone given me a problem?
Yeah, they might give you some strange looks if you're going through the different residential parts of the neighborhoods, without at least just walking next to your mount.
Nobody tell me to get off, so?
Do I know another way in?
You know that there is a garden out back, and that there's a door to the garden from there.
Do I have time during this exchange to back up a little closer to 13? And 13 would probably recognize this move by now since we've been together for several months. But I'm just going to kind of gently reach out and grab onto his arm. And I'm going to say, Gypsum, go. And I'm going to try to send Gypsum through their contested situation while they're wrestling with the door and send Gypsum inside and try to see through Gypsum's eyes.
Yeah, so those of you around, even though this is in the middle of the altercation, but just so for everyone has context, Gypsum seems to crawl down from Savan's kind of like neck and torso, and the second that Gypsum hits the ground, you see that his skin starts to shimmer just a little bit, and it's as if when he touches the ground, it starts to fade into the color of the ground below him, and it seems as if he's got some natural camouflage. Make me a stealth check for Gypsum with advantage.
Okay, stealth. Alright. That's a nat 20, I shit you not.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The 23.
So, yeah. So, Jackal's got his foot in the door, and this woman is trying to close it. As she's kind of like insisting, like very much like, thank you for coming, over your foot, Gypsum has a chance to slip through before you're kind of like continuing to push back against it.
Yeah, so as she's closing the door on my foot, as I have a snake on it, I'm just gonna like scream out, "Ah, my tootsie!" and like sort of kick a little bit so that the snake goes a little bit further in.
Okay.
And I'm able to reel my leg back.
Yeah, just as you're able to like kick and then push through, you hear the and your foot almost got clipped by it. And she goes, "Come again!" And as she finally closes the door.
All right, you see anything?
I mean, I can't hear you ask me that, but what do I see, DM?
Yeah.
Okay, close the door.
So, within this door, you see a large room that's very kind of like open air, tall ceilings, temple-esque, skylight above you. This room seems to be got 4 pillars on either side of on the 4 corners of the room, and then in the center they seem to be made of. There's some wooden bridges that cross over what seems to be a pit, and as Gypsum gets close to it, you see that below these little bridges are these pools of some kind of murky water below, and it makes these 2 bridges cross in kind of like a plus pattern, and then in the back of this temple you see a similar door that goes out the back, and you also see that there's some stairs down at the back, and this entire temple seems to be decorated with stone etchings of vines and roots that kind of encompass these pillars. You see real vines that grow up part of the walls, but a lot of them seem to be black or decayed in some points. And in the very center of that kind of like over the pit, you see a large bust or a statue of a kind of like a half portrait of some kind of male figure that seems to be extremely well built, and you see a four-armed kind of like male figure standing there with and the four arms in different directions, and out from it you see branches that seem to kind of spread out into what looks like trees from these arms. And Jackal, you're not there yet, but you know that would be Tartager, the god of plant life. And as Gypsum kind of enters, not only does he see this architecture, but you see that right behind the door is this female figure that was at the door that throws off this cowl that she was wearing. And there are 3 other figures within the room directly behind this door next to her with daggers drawn. And you see that that they are black hooded figures that match a certain description that you've seen before, yet again. And as Gypsum's kind of sneaking around, you hear them say, "Oh, that was close. They really were persistent. Who comes and prays so regularly like that? That's so weird." And he goes, "It's just good that they're not invading. We still haven't gotten the information out of her yet." And they kind of like go on talking behind these closed doors. But most of it's just kind of like banter about kind of like being unfamiliar with this area. And she goes, "I hate that cowl. These stupid priests are really just ceremonial as hell. Don't they have anything to steal in here?" You know, and goes, "No, of course not. They're priests, you idiot." And they just kind of go back and forth for a while.
I can't hold that for terribly long. So as it seems like if they're not moving from this area and they're just kind of chit-chatting, I will just temporarily dismiss Gypsum, so he'll just dissipate.
Okay. Yeah, you see that after just talking for a second, they kind of, one of them goes back to the door, and then the other 3 go back down to these stairs in the back of the room.
Okay.
I mean, not long after the door is going to close, Jackal is just going to say to the others, "Well, there's a garden around back. I think I might go just try the back door for a little bit. Things don't seem right."
What kind of garden? Like a flower one or one for for food?
GM.
You know that it would be a combination, and it's really depending on the druid's purview, kind of what they're feeling at the time.
Both. There is food grown there, but largely ceremonial, largely decoration.
Will we come back out from the same way, or will we go somewhere else? I don't think I want to have Canoe walk to somebody else's flowers.
We're gonna be coming out the same way, most likely.
Canoe, I kind of like slap on the top of his head. Are you good for waiting here? Will kind of like look around and try and find like a street lamp or a signpost or something sturdy.
Yep. You find a stone lamppost.
And then I would like to open up 2 bear traps and kind of like position them in the top of the pouches on Canoe's saddlebags.
Okay.
And just pat that closed.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
And then I'll take like a couple of weapons and just like adjust them on me so that I can continue to carry them.
Okay.
Okay, I am ready.
Great. How best can we get into the garden?
Yeah, so you know that it's just right around back, kind of like there's this, like I said, the stone wall that you initially, it was kind of like the entranceway to the what am I trying to say? Like the courtyard in the front, and then you know that it goes around back. There's a small little path that leads back to the gardens. So it's not like it's walled off or anything. It's just a small, thin path on either side of the temple.
Okay.
Oh, DM, what time of day is it right now?
Yeah, so you all got to Ortazim. So it's getting basically it's probably about 6 p.m., like, or, twilight-ish, like late afternoon, early evening.
Okay, then I would like to. I take off my take up the cloak, and like flip it around, and then turn it inside out, so that instead of a just like a spotted jaguar, there is a melanistic black leopard, and I kind of drape that over instead, so it fits better with the darkness.
Cool.
Also, question: have we had a short rest?
You had a long rest when you since the I'll say that you could have, like, I'll count in the half a day's worth of travel you would have taken a break. I'll give that to you.
Probably come to about this time, and I will just I assume Jackal's already making his way around, but I will 13. That woman was not a priestess. That's the wind. I saw the same masks.
Welp.
I'm also gonna bring Gypsum back. I don't like to be without him for very long.
Okay. You all just see Gypsum somewhat rematerialize on crawling up Savon's back.
Where does your snake go?
I don't really know. I've never asked.
Does it just turn like invisible, or does it maybe shift to another place?
Yes, I suppose.
That's two different things.
Is it? Are you sure?
Not anymore.
Once we all get close enough to each other, I am going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
On the four of us.
Ooh.
Nice. Speaking of which, y'all are making your way around the side of the temple. Are
Yes.
you all going stealthily?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone roll me a stealth check.
That's what, a plus 10?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
20.
Wow.
27.
Okay.
23?
39.
Oh, okay.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. All right. How are y'all approaching this? I presume you're kind of just making your way around the side little path.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
You all.
Yeah, I imagine like single file, probably not too terribly conspicuously close together. Just sliding around the edge.
Sure. Yeah, so you kind of skirt the edge of this stone structure, and you're able to kind of like sneak past a couple of windows that are very thin that are kind of like very deep, so you can't see a ton through besides what you saw before, and you make your way probably a solid 120 feet back to the backyard of this temple. You see that here there are like 4 long rows of a very, what seems like a well-kept garden. It's got a trough that is used for irrigation in between each row, and it seems to have very well-made kind of like spires and wire that's used for keeping vined plants on, and it seems like it's very well kept, except for the fact that as you're walking through, you see that patches of it just seem to be blackened with rot, and certain plants just seem to have crumpled and stopped living among a very healthy patch, which seems right next to it. So it seems as if spotted with either disease or some sort of blight.
Like immediately come to a halt once I notice that and squat down next to the plants. May I look at these and determine how they are dying?
Sure. Yeah. Can you make me an Arcana or Nature check?
All right. Nature. 4.
Okay. You have seen a lot of plants, and to you it seems as though that these rotting plants could have been there for months without water, but there's water right there, so you have no clue.
These babies are dying. Who takes care of the garden here?
It will be the priest.
Okay.
The priests might be dead. Or at least most of them.
We will kill someone.
How long ago would I realize that the priests were not dead?
How do you mean?
Like, when was the last time that I would have been around here, and were the priests not dead?
Probably just, I mean, you haven't been around the Emerald Pools, like, you don't frequent that on a daily basis, but maybe you've been here in the past 2 weeks, and they were fine.
All right.
So, basically you make your way around this garden, and you find that the back of the temple has a similar but smaller stone door at the back, and similar to the front one, doesn't have a lock on it.
Okay. Can I just open it quietly?
You can try.
I would like to.
All right, make me a sleight of hand check.
13.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to start to open this door from the outside. You're able to slowly try to like edge it across the door, and then as you make it over one of the thresholds, you hear a very sharp as it seems to not be as smooth as you anticipated, but you don't immediately hear any reactions.
Just gonna squeeze in if I can.
Okay, yeah, so you're able to kind of like just get enough room, just just maybe 9 inches or so, 10 inches, and really try to squeeze through as you're able to kind of like very silently kind of squeeze through. The second you pop your head through, you immediately see 3 faces looking directly back at you.
Well, howdy.
As they say, "Hey!" And I would like you to roll initiative.
Oh boy! We have to roll initiative if we didn't go inside.
We're gonna know what's going on real soon.
If you want to do anything, then it would be advised.
I'm totally kidding.
22.
Okay. Savon.
16.
Conley.
9.
13.
15.
Okay. Do some rolling. Alright, well, first up is Jackal again. You see these 3 heads staring right back at you. They're kind of like interspersed, kind of in like a 15-foot circle, and then you see the last one that was at the door is on the far side of the room, and the stairs are kind of like just opposite the door, to kind of the left. Yeah, what do you do?
Well, this one is immediately in my face and no me gusta, so I'm going to attack him with my short sword.
Okay, go for it.
Does an 18 hit him?
Yeah, it does.
I'm assuming him.
This one is a him.
Okay. 10
Okay.
points of damage. For my bonus action, in my left hand, I want to follow up with a attack with a dagger.
Okay, go for it.
Hold on. Let me triple check the rules for 2-weapon fighting.
Okay. I believe it's that you don't get to add your...
Don't add to damage. Okay.
Correct.
So 22 to hit.
Yeah, it'll definitely hit.
For 2 points of damage.
Okay.
That is my turn.
Okay, yeah, so this guy you get with a short sword and a slice of your dagger. This one goes, "Ugh! What the heck? What are you doing here?" And And next up is him. And so he's going to take out a large club from his side and goes, "Try to slice me!" And he takes a big swing. That's going to be a 24 to hit.
Yep.
And that is going to be 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Right. I'm going to, as he slams it down on me, I'm going to, kick off the door and slide between his legs and uncannily dodge it.
Okay. Absolutely. You now find yourself, let's say, I'm just going to let you go through his legs, and now you find yourself in between two opponents.
Now pop back up.
Okay. Next up is Savan. You basically, those of you outside, all you've seen is Jackal slip his head in, immediately get seen and say, "Hello there." And then an attack from Jackal, and now a big slamming attack sound from something inside.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I don't want anything to do with that, but here we are. Gosh. Is it peeking through where the door is ajar? Does it appear to be dark inside, or is it lit?
It's lit with some sunlight and some very light torch-like.
Okay. I am going to... What am I gonna do? I honestly think it doesn't sound like I want anything to do with that. So I think I am actually just going to kick open the door and step aside.
Okay. So you're just like, "Wah!"
Yeah. Make room for the people who know what they're doing.
Okay, you can do that. I'm not going to make you roll. Jackal, you see the door slam open and your friends look inside, and now you all see the entire scene in front of you. Next up is guy number 3. This one is a female, so I shouldn't say guy, and she's going to take a short bow and aim it directly at Jackal from... she's the one that's not in between you and the other. And she's going to take a shot at you. That's for a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets 4 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be her turn. Next up is the one in between, on the other side of you and the one that you hit. And this one's going to take out a short sword against you. Wow. This one completely swings, and because of the move that you did, sliding between his companion's legs, he's going to completely whiff his sword attack and almost trip himself in the process. Next is going to be 13.
So are we still doing this stealthily?
Try to be as quiet as you can.
Yeah, once the combat started and Savan kicked open the door, I'm going to say you lost the benefit of a surprise.
Cool. 13 charges in.
Okay.
Bonus action to do the rage. He's going to pick the claw attack. So, talons, feather arms, and he's going to strike out at the one with the short bow.
Yeah. So it's club, jackal, short sword, all in kind of like a flanking section, and then the one with the short bow on the other side of them.
Okay.
But you can run through.
Recklessly, I touched a card that didn't belong to me.
1987 Bugatti. That's not even a real car.
At 25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
This one for 8 on the first.
Yep.
Second attack. Double 8s for 16 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 12 points of slashing damage, and the last attack is a 20 for another 8.
Okay. So you take these like 3 massive swings, and you see that this female is completely, she's kind of like thrown onto the ground, and she's bleeding from your attacks. She was kind of just aiming a short bow seconds before, and now she's absolutely caught off guard. Very, very badly hurt.
And just to get the attention of everyone in the room, he cups both hands together and is just going to raise it above his head.
Okay. Next up is Conley.
Can you see this action outside right now? Like, the door's been kicked open. Is everyone in sight, or?
Yeah, pretty much everyone's in sight. It's just kind of like, you kind of have to, like, you know, move your head to get the best angle on everyone, but the general scene is in full sight.
If one were to produce a cone-shaped attack, is there a way to do so without setting fire to 13 or Connor? Jekyll.
Yeah. You could see that Jackal is unfortunately sandwiched between two adversaries, and so Jackal would be caught in that cone. You could, and unfortunately, 13 just kind of went directly up to the third one, such that it seems like you would, if you hit her, you would also hit him.
Wow. Animal hair smells terrible on fire, so I will skip that for now, and instead, going to, for the, draw in some druidic energy, and for the first time since we have begun, my spores become dense enough for y'all to see, and like little flakelets of like fungal spores start to like drift in through the front door as I use symbiotic entity to give myself temporary HP and do a lot more damage with my spores. So let me add some temp HP. And I am just going to walk in and get close to everyone. And just... Who is killing the plants? And every hostile entity in this fight needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. One got a 17, one got a 1, one got an 18, and one got an 11.
Okay, so the 1 and the 11 are taking the effects of my spores.
Okay, that's 2 and 4.
So, to start with, they take 7 necrotic damage.
Okay.
No, 5. I don't know. Right. Yeah. And then... Where is symbiotic entity? And all... No, that'll be the rest of what I do with the spores for now. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to reach for... or pull out the sumac leaf and put it into my hand again and ignite the flame blade.
Very nice. Okay. Next up is going to be the girl at the door, the front door on the far side now. And she's going to be like, "You weren't supposed to come in!" And she takes out a couple of daggers, and she's going to take them and throw them across the room at 13. And do they have advantage because you did it recklessly?
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, first one's a crit. I'm just going to roll them both at once. And the next one is a one off from a crit. 19 plus 4 is a 23 to hit.
Both hit.
Okay. Okay, how would you like to take 7 points of piercing damage on the first one and 3 on the second?
That means 3 and 1 because I'm raging.
Yes, it does. These thunk into you, and it seems like it's barely affecting you.
There is a turn and predatory glare like, uh-oh, you done goofed.
Okay, yes, there is. Alright, next up is back to the top of the round with Jackal.
At the end of that enemy's turn, since it is still in influence, it needs to make a con save.
Okay. Got an 18.
Well, dang.
That's it? Alright, Jackal.
Where... The guy that I attacked is 13 also engaged with him?
No, so 13. You are engaged with the club guy at the door, and then behind you is the short sword guy, and then there's a girl with a bow that 13 ran up to.
Okay. Nobody's within 5 feet of either of the people up on me.
None of your allies are.
Cool. All right. Second verse, same as the first. Or actually, I think I'm going to use my bonus action to take steady aim.
Okay.
Against the dude who went clubbing, and
Okay.
I'll take that advantage.
Go for it.
25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
Okay. And that will be 22 points of damage.
Oh, on the one that was right in front of you, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Jackal, how would you like to do this?
Yeah, I just so before I had like sort of just flurry of knives at this person, but this time I'm just like sort of trying to dodge all of these attacks coming at me, and I'm just like trying to center myself, and then I'm just gonna take one sharp stab at something that should not be stabbed, and they're gonna fall.
Okay. Yeah, you hear it kind of like, and on his club, he collapses onto the floor. That's going to be your turn?
Yes.
Okay, next up is the one that just died. And the next one is Savan.
Oh, that made me laugh. Okay, so Savan, having ducked out of the way, is kind of like back against the door frame, facing out into the garden, like, I don't really want to do this. I super don't want to do this. But after a moment, kind of to myself, okay, well, I'm certainly not going to prove anything by standing out here, so here we go. And I'm going to, before I step in, I'm going to close my eyes in concentration. And I am going to, oh, that's the wrong thing. Clutch this small crystal that I keep on my person. And after a brief moment of concentration, 6 small rock-like objects, meteors, begin to hover around my space and orbit around me. And I'm going to step inside the door frame as I cast Melf's Minute Meteors. And I am just going to, whichever one, I think I'm going to probably, my eyes will snap to 13 first. So whichever ones are near him, I'm going to attempt to send a meteor to 2 different ones.
2 different ones? Okay, so there's the one that's almost dead in front of 13, and then there's the ones that are, no, I guess those would be the 2 closest, because the other one just died. So there's one on the other side of Jackal, and then there's one that's right in front of 13, and then there's the one in the far back of the room, but you'd probably go for the 2 in front.
Well, I was going to ask, is there, looking at this, is there a safe way for me to duck? Like, I don't want to get into anybody's melee range, but I'm not sure exactly of the dimensions of this space.
Now that Jackal just dispatched with the one next to the door, there's an open passage for you to get in without being in a threatened range.
Perfect. So I'm just going to slide into this area like 15-ish feet, and I will aim for one of the ones nearby and one of the one on the far side of the room as well. They both need to make dex saves.
Okay. Ooh, one got a natural 20.
Gross.
And the other one got a 4.
Okay, well, let's see here.
Your pick of which one's which.
I'll say the 4 is the faraway one, because
Okay.
it's a longer range spell, so that makes more sense, I think.
Sure.
Just because I say that. So that's 5. So the one that failed takes 5 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And the other one takes 2, I guess, halved.
Okay. So these 2 little tiny meteors shoot from around Savan and kind of like, they're both kind of taken aback and look at you like, ow! The one at the far back's kind of still annoyed that you didn't go through the front door because she was guarding it, so. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's all. Yep, that's all I'm gonna do for now. The other 4 are just continuing to orbit as I'm standing there.
Okay. Next one is the one almost bleeding out in front of 13. And this one kind of like, she gets up very much afraid of your massive blows, and she kind of goes, oh, what's over there? And she takes the disengage action and attempts to flee and run down towards the stairs. Unfortunately, because she had to get up, she only is 15 feet away from you, but it does not provoke an attack of opportunity. She's kind of like just now getting to the top of the stairs. But that's going to be her turn. And... oh no, she can turn around and take another shot at you. Wait, no. Disengage. Oh yeah.
Is a bonus.
Yeah, bonus action. Yeah, so she can take a shot at you with a bow. She's going to get a 4, so I don't think that's going to hit. But next up is going to be the one on the other side of Jackal with a short sword. And this one says, turns to you and says, "It was a mistake. We were prey." And he gets a 12 to try to hit you.
Oh.
Then his attack is about as threatening as his warning. And next up is going to be 13.
Con save first.
Oh, con save. Yes, thank you. Oh,
That dang 15-footer got away from me.
He got a nat 20.
Well, that's no fun.
They really like making perfect con saves. So next up is 13.
Rush up to the one fleeing and reckless.
Yeah, go for it.
25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. How would you like to do this?
Oh, could I do it non-lethally, basically? Like, he just runs up to her, puts a paw over her mouth, and just boop?
Yeah, absolutely. She's like, and collapses unconscious on the floor.
And then I have 45 feet of movement, so I'm gonna run up to that guy in front of Jackal.
Okay.
And go for another swipe.
Go for it.
27
Yeah.
for 8, and the final blow. Oh, sorry. Damage. 18.
18. That's damage?
To hit, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that'll definitely hit.
For another 10.
13. How would you like to do this?
Jackal sees 13 run up behind this guy. He kicks in a knee, like just right in the divot, hooks both hands behind this guy, and will do like spin around and do a DDT, basically.
Mm-hmm. What is a DDT for those who don't know?
It's a wrestling move where you and the opponent slam into the floor with your body weight on top of them.
Nice.
Oh.
They crumple and do not get up. Is that your turn?
Yes, it is.
Conley's next.
All right.
The only one left is the one at the far back with the bow.
Sure is. So I'll note the unconscious one in the stairs for now, and just start walking my way down the hallway. Will I get within 10 feet or less?
How much movement do you have?
30.
You get within about 40 feet.
About 40 feet. How long is this? Are we in a hallway?
The entire from front to back of the temple is about 120 feet. And there's that kind of like entranceway, and then there's that pool and the bridges over it, and then there's the back where you all are with the stairs on one side and the door on the other.
Okay. How many feet away did you say we were?
You are now, with 30 feet of movement, you are 40 feet away.
40 feet. Okay. Then at that range, I'm just gonna reach out towards the enemy, and my hands kind of create like a very weak blue flame, and I like clench my fists and just kind of whisper in primordial, "Crush!" And as I do so, I cast Chill Touch.
Okay.
Rolling a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. And I am 5th level. Cool. So that does a total of 8 necrotic damage, and there's like a weak blue flame that's like icy for some reason, like grasped onto the chest of the enemy, and they can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Okay, she's like been shooting arrows across, and as you kind of this blue flame consumes her, she kind of goes. She seems pained by this.
All right, that is my turn.
Okay, next up is this this girl shooting you from across the way, and seeing you dispatch with her her friends. She's going to try to duck away and she's going to kind of like go up to this massive stone door and with all her might try to push it open as fast as she can. However, it does take her entire turn an action to try to do so. So you kind of like you're like I gotta go, and as she's like almost dipping outside the door, and that's as far as she can go for her turn. And next up is the top of the round with Jackal.
How far is this person away from me?
She is, let's see, you were about, you were, I'd say about 65 to 70 feet away.
Okay. I would like to take steady aim at this person.
Okay, you are able to do so.
That's a natural 20.
Okay. Oh, with sneak attack too? Ugh, gross.
Altogether, that's going to be 28 points of piercing damage. As I like drop my weapons, get out my bow, and take steady aim at this person. Then just.
How would you like to do this?
Oh, I would like to think that our camera phased to like the front door where we see like the canoe, and we see this woman just like barely push the door out the way and just like sort of come out and just like sort of look around for a place to hide, and then all of a sudden and she falls on the ground.
Absolutely. Unmoving. And as your arrow finds its mark and the last combatant in this room is slain, that is where we're going to end tonight's session, as the temple is now silent, at least this room. Thank you all so much for joining us on this awesome session. Got in some cool fights. Let's go around and do our sign-offs. Try to make it somewhat exponential. Is that even a word? Make it slightly quick. Just because we went over tonight, thank you so much for being patient with us. But let's go around, do our quick sign-offs, and tell us your favorite part. And then we'll go from there. Who'd like to start? Go for it.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ on the interwebs. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I sometimes stream video games and nerd out about things. I'll also post whenever I'm going live there. Today, my favorite part? It's kind of hard to pin down, but the conversation between Conley and Sivan was very top. It was very choice. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Who's next?
All right, I'll follow up. I am Media Flair, voice actor and streamer. You can catch me here on Wednesdays and then my own streams on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m., and then noon. My favorite part of tonight probably would have been, honestly, same. Just the visual reaction of Sivan when I let them know that my telepathic stuff goes up their nose. I guess my Twitter link is screwed up, but yeah.
We'll fix it. All right, who's next?
Hi! I'm Cyber. You can find I also streamed twitch.tv/Starwolf1201. We're gonna be playing Hollow Knight on Saturday. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna die a lot. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. I'm all places. You can never escape me. My favorite part was also listening in on freaking spores going up your nose. Especially because Jackal actually can speak Primordial, so he did hear all this.
My friends are way up in your nose.
Wow. All right, Chris, take it on.
All right. Hi, I'm Chris, and I like to hang out. And if you like to hang out and want to hang out with me, you can find me on Twitter at Kiss of Hemlock. I am an actual play streamer and podcaster, doing all kinds of fun things. If you want to keep up, I would just suggest following me on Twitter. But I do have a super cool one-shot that's happening tomorrow with some incredible people let's see, it's tomorrow night at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. That makes sense, right? Yeah. It's going to be an excellent time. We are doing it on Critical Barge channeled on Twitch. Welcome to the Blackout, a level 21 shot, and we are raising money for Black Girls Code. So highly suggest you check it out if you have some free time tomorrow. My favorite part of the session, gosh, honestly, I think I loved the conversation between Siobhan and Conley. I think my favorite part was probably 13 and the Olives. I don't know why that was so entertaining to me, that this giant lion man is like eating handfuls of olives on the sly. Yeah, but that was just completely endearing and entertaining. I loved that, so I would say that.
Nice. Well, hello everyone. I'm Luke. I've been your Dungeon Master for tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Petrichor, as well as on the Open for Adventure Discord. You can find me mostly here on Wednesdays doing this campaign for now, when I'm not making video game cinematics in my job. And let's see, my favorite part of tonight. I think in general it was that definitely the same conversation we're all talking about. I'd like to highlight a different strange element of weird conversation, which is Conley's question about what Siobhan does with Gypsum's skin when it falls off, but like in a very like quirky way, and this like miscommunication was just like perfect. I don't know. It was just this level of strange interactions that was both endearing and weird at the same time. And it was, that whole conversation was the pinnacle. Yeah. So that's it for our show tonight. Before we leave, we just want to thank our wonderful Patreon supporters. If you wish, you can go over to our Patreon, which will be in the chat shortly. And our wonderful Warm Fuzzies are the ones that support us among the best, and we'd like to give a shout out to each one of them. So our first one is Bel Chavez, Christina, Deborah, L Street Gaming, Rick O, and Strix.
Yes, Strix!
Thank you so much, everyone, for your continued support. We really do appreciate it. And that will be our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Join us next week, same time, same place. And yeah, thanks for joining, friends. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.